Hey YouTubers, it's Money Mindset Coach. My name is Valerie. I was a hairdresser. I was in real estate for several years. I have Labradors. I am a mother. I'm a grandmother. I don't know exactly what to say when I first get on, but anyway, I talk mostly about finances, minimalism, frugality, pretty much anything that relates to money. And the thing that I want to talk about today is buyer tips when you're buying a house. Basically, your lender may tell you that you can buy more house than what you really can. You need to be careful of that. Basically, you want to be within 25% of your take home pay for the month. If you are not doing that, if you go above that, you will be what they call house poor. And that is too much money going towards your house because you've got your principal, interest, taxes, insurance, but that's not everything when it comes to owning a house. You have maintenance, you have a furnace, a water heater, air conditioning unit. You have a lot of things that can go wrong. You've got plumbing, you've got electrical, you got a lot of those things that could go wrong. And you have to account for that too. You have to think, okay, if Murphy moves in, Murphy's Law, if something goes wrong, it's like your car. It's not if it breaks down, it's when. And your house is really kind of the same way. There are going to be things that are going to come up that you're going to have to spend money on. So you have to think about that too. So basically, stay within that 25%. And then if something goes wrong and you need to fix something with your house, you're not house poor and you're able to deal with something that you have to get fixed. The other thing is don't get bogged down with cosmetic things when you look at the house. There could be an ugly countertop. There could be horrible colors on the wall. Those things, look at what's fixable and look at what's not fixable. The most important thing is your neighborhood. Is it a good neighborhood? What's around your house? What is around this house? Is it crappy houses? You might not want to do that because you can move in to a crappy house and do something about it. But if you move next door to one, can't do anything about that except look at it and probably have it drive you a little crazy. I know it would me. But go in and look at the house. Floor plan is important. Can you change a floor plan? Yeah, but it's going to be expensive. Taking a wall down, it doesn't sound like it would be that expensive, but it is. Don't look at the floor plan. See if it works for you. Because floor plans are so key. I was in new home construction for years, and floor plan was everything, to how you live your life, So you got to think about that. The other thing is, I've got this written down. Why is this doing this? Okay, there we go. I would tell buyers to make a pros and cons list. Biggest pros, biggest cons, and see what those are. And see what means the most to you, what means the least to you. If you've got a lot of cons and they're up at the top of the list, that house probably isn't for you. But if those cons, maybe they're not that big of a deal. How many of them are fixable? How many of them are changeable? Look at what you can do and what you can fix and what can't change and what you don't like. That is the best way to do it, and it's the best way of analyzing. Basically, my rule always was, and I did this myself, is I bought the worst house in the best neighborhood. The block that I bought my house on, it every house around it and on that whole block was really nice. My house was the one that needed the help. Because of that, I ended up getting a really good deal on this house. I could go in, and of course, I wasn't going to do anything with the floor plan. It was a tri level. It was what it was. There were walls I could have taken down, but I knew that would have cost a lot of money, and I wasn't going to do that. So I came in and I painted. I put my furniture. I did change some light fixtures. I wish I had a picture of this, but there was the biggest, ugliest ceiling fan in the dining room. I mean, a ceiling fan above where you eat. It's like gross. But it was ugly. It was orange. It was just the ugliest, awful looking ceiling fan I'd ever seen. The day after we closed on that house, my friend Wanda came over and that ceiling fan came down. And I bought a light fixture. Wasn't it wasn't super expensive. You can spend a boatload of money on light fixtures. You can spend 1,000 or two on a light fixture, or you can spend $40 like what I did. I decided to go with the satin nickel. I found a light fixture for the dining room that had 5 lights because I thought 5 lights is a good amount of light to show down on the table. That's all I wanted. I found a chandelier or light fixture, whatever we want to call it, that had 5 lights, that was satin nickel, $40. My friend came over. She installed it for nothing. That was good. And then over a period of the time that I lived there, every ugly light fixture, and pretty much all of them in this house, because it was built in 1960, were ugly. I had them all replaced. And I bought them relatively inexpensively, and Wanda replaced them for me. So it ended up working out really well. And when you upgrade light fixtures, that changes everything. That is a very inexpensive fix. And I mean, you might feel comfortable changing something when it comes to electrical. My daughter-in-law, for instance, can do that. I never wanted to do that. Electricity kind of scares me. I want somebody else to do that, but she's very talented, so she did that. But that's not for me, so I had my friend Wanda do it, and so that changed everything. And then I painted every room in the house, and then with lighting and furniture and stuff on the walls. It's like my kids didn't they were not crazy about this house when we moved into it. They really weren't. And after we moved in and they saw what I did with it, they were like, "Gee, Mom, I thought this house was kind of homely when we moved in, and you've really made it into something." And that made me feel good because that is kind of what I like to do. And so what I'm saying is, don't get hung up on the small things. The other important thing is to look at the water heater, the furnace, the main components of the house, the things that would be very expensive to replace. You know, you can usually tell by a air conditioning unit that it's pretty old. I got really good at judging the age with as many houses as I was showing to people. Appliances, look at those kind of things. But when you put the contract in and you get it accepted, you're going to have a home inspection. And that home inspection, if the inspector is a good inspector, he is going to give you the opinion of how old anything is, how well it's working. Because basically what you want is you want a furnace that is working, but you also want it to be working properly. Now, if it's an old furnace, is it going to be efficient? Not really. But it works. And if it's safe, it's not emitting, if it's a gas furnace, it's not kicking off any fumes or anything. That's really important. You want to have a safe home for your family. You want that water heater to be doing what it needs to be doing and heating the water. You don't go in and say, hey, I want a new water heater because that one's pretty old. If it's working and it's working properly, I doubt the seller is going to say, oh, sure, we'll replace that. You want to just know that they're working and that they're working properly. The furnace that I replaced in the house that I'm talking about that I bought, that was the worst house in the block, when I replaced that furnace, it needed to be replaced. But that ended up being, I think that furnace was 35 years old. It was old. And it had gotten to the end of its life. And I got a new one. But my water heater, oh my gosh. I've seen water heaters that have lasted 20 years. Now, is that longer than a normal water heater lasts? Yeah. But from a frugality standpoint, if your water heater is working and it's working properly, there's no reason to replace it. You don't replace it until it's not working anymore. You know, it's like if it's not broke, don't fix it. If it's not broke, don't replace it. Efficiency, yeah, you're going to be lacking a little bit. But does that money have to be spent? No. If you don't have new windows in your house, you can do that over a period of time. You don't have to replace all the windows at the same time. You don't have to do that. That costs a lot of money. Do it little by little. Do a couple windows a year. You know, it doesn't have to all be done at the same time. Be patient. Look at what your priorities are. What does the house really need? The other thing that I did the very next day after we closed, my friend Wanda was also there. She'd been my property manager when we rented, so we had become friends. We had been friends for a few years. She came over and replaced the storm door on the front of the house. That storm door, it was 1960 this house was built. And that was the same storm door. Nobody had ever replaced the storm door in all those years. It was still a 1960 storm door. So I put a new storm door on, changed the front of the house completely. I did that. The mailbox was just kind of crappy. I put a new mailbox that was maybe $15 or $20. I did that. That was pretty inexpensive, actually. It's just little things like that. You don't have to spend a boatload of money. My ex-husband and I, we were married at the time that we bought this house. We went to, usually on Saturday, we would call it Home Depot date. And the other thing I did in this house is the carpeting had been replaced. It was cheap carpeting. It wasn't really that great, but it was new, so I dealt with it. It was better than old. But it was a beige carpet, but all the heat registers, all the floor registers were gray and ugly. And I went to Home Depot and I bought all new brown ones that looked much better, that were brand new. That changed the look right there. You know? I mean, you can change hardware on cabinet doors. You can change doorknobs. I didn't like the doors. I didn't like the bedroom doors, the bathroom doors. I didn't like any of that. But I changed some hardware on the closet doors. I did some stuff like that. That doesn't cost that much. It really doesn't. And so there's little things that you can do that don't cost a lot of money. So anyway, that's all I have for now. What I'm wearing, I'm doing a no spending for clothes this year, 2024. This particular top that I'm wearing, when I worked for a builder, They had a master closet in the master bedroom of a display home that had clothes for display. And I got all of the clothes, and they were my size. I was lucky. And I knew that. I knew they were my size. But I ended up getting a whole bunch of clothes that had been hanging on display for $10. And I got the hangers they were hanging on, which in a display home for a builder, they are not going to be the plastic hangers. These are nice wood hangers. And actually, I totally forgot this until now, but there were other clothes in there that were not my size, that were more my daughter-in-law's size. So I gave those to her. And that was really neat because I was able to bless her with some clothes that didn't cost her anything, and the total amount of clothes was only $10. That was one of my best deals. I got to do a video of some of the best deals that I have ever gotten, because I am not a person who talks about how much I spent. I dated a guy for a while, very short time, that everything had a price. Oh, look how much I spent for this. Look how much I spent for that. It's like he was boasting about how much money he was spending on his car and his apartment and his furniture and stuff. I never was that way. If I ever was boasting about what I paid, I did it. I was talking about how little I paid on something, what a great deal that I got. That was what I was talking about. I didn't want to tell people, oh, yeah, I spent a lot of money on this. No, I'm not going to do that. I am going to tell you, wow, look at the deal that I got on this. So I need to do a video because I have had some really amazing deals over my adult life that, some are very small, some are very big, but they've been like, oh, I just get all psyched out. I get psyched up. I just absolutely love it. And I love telling people the great deals that I got. So anyway, if you like this video, please hit like, subscribe. That would be wonderful. I would love to see you in my next video. And until then, use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. Till next time, bye.